Hey guys, it's Adrian, and today I'm taking a look at AOSU SolarCam D1 SE. Now you can see by the box this is a much smaller camera than the floodlight camera I'd reviewed recently. But don't let that fool you because this is still a very powerful camera. So this is a 3K camera with 5 megapixels. It has pan and tilt functionality, AI detection, and automatic tracking. You also have siren functionality, a spotlight, and two-way talk, along with a bunch more features. There's also 0 monthly fees to use these camera systems, but a big thank you to AOSU for sending the SolarCam D1 SE out for review, so let's put it through the test and see how well it does. In the box, we have the AOSU SolarCam D1 SE. We also have the wall mount, a manual, the solar panel along with the cable to connect it to the camera. We also have a mount for the solar panel and a USB Type-C cable just to top this up initially before installing it, mounting screws and positioning stickers. So the size of the SolarCam D1 SE is fairly normal. It's not too big, not too small. Here it is next to a 355 milliliter can of pop. Now if we take a look at the front, this is where we'll find the PIR sensor. We have the camera lens, spotlight, microphone and indicator light. And then at the very bottom, I've already loosened this weather sealed area. We have the reset button, power button, and then a slot for up to 128 gigabytes of a micro SD card, which I've already inserted. The back has the speaker grill, and then we also have these, adjustable antennas because this is going to be, completely by Wi-Fi, so it is going to require connecting to your router. The bottom of the camera has a USB Type-C port, and this is what we're going to use to connect the connector end from the solar panel to keep this permanently powered up throughout the year. The D1 SE comes in at around 500 grams or a little over a pound. Installation is also fairly straightforward, so you have two options. One is to wall mount it using this mount, so you just drill 3 screws right into the wall, or you could drill 2 screws, coming up from here into a ceiling, and then you'll just slide this until you hear a click. So just make sure when you mount the camera, you mount it high enough, kind of out of arm's reach, because once the mount is secured to the camera body, if someone wants to grab a hold, they could just, slide it right out and separate it from the camera body because there's no retention screws to keep it secured to the housing. The solar panel is also very easy to install, so you can see you have this pre-ran wiring and a screw hole right here. So all you're going to do is use this mount, just again secure it to the wall and then attach this to the back here, angle it, and then just run this connector wire into the USB Type-C port here. Specs include a 5 megapixel camera with a 3K resolution. There's a 5000 milliamp hour rechargeable battery. We have 90 degrees tilt and 360 degrees pan functionality. You can insert up to 128 micro SD card. Operating temperature is from -10 Celsius to 55 degrees Celsius. The PIR distance is 10 meters. There's color and black and white night vision. We also have an IP65 rating and Alexa and Google support. So the AOSU app is downloaded and the camera is on and it's flashing blue. So I'm going to click on Add Devices, and it says to please scan the QR code. Now there is a QR code at the top here. I actually don't think I need to do that. It automatically found it. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Add. And keep in mind, I am connected to my 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi connection. Make sure you're connected to that before you start this process and that the micro SD card is inserted. So let me just wait, and this is the Wi-Fi connection I'm going to pick. I'm just going to pop in my password.
The camera is connecting to your Wi-Fi network. It may take a moment. Please wait for a while. Save settings successfully.
All right, so it's connected. It was that quick, literally took less than a minute. Let's go into live view. And once that's loaded up, you can see we have a bunch of options, so we can just go right into playback like I showed earlier. But what we can also do is we can switch from, high definition to standard definition if your Wi-Fi signal strength is not that good. But let's just go back to UHD. And from here, we can also take a manual recording at whatever we're looking at. And we can also take a screenshot as well, and that's going to save to our phone. And I've just disabled the volume for right now. Now, I've already created a stitch panorama, and you can see if I actually tap over here, the camera's actually going to go over there, pan and tilt. So it's a super cool feature to have. You can just tap anywhere you like. And of course, you can manually pan and tilt as you see fit. Taking a look at the bottom menu here, this is where we can manually turn on the light. Of course, you're not going to be able to really see much because it's bright daylight. And then we can also change the tone of our voice. We can also initiate two-way talk to talk to whoever's outside. And then we can also go ahead and start the alarm. And it does get quite loud. I'm just going to turn that off. And we can also go into more and send, pre-recorded voice messages. So I could say, hey, please put the package at the door if I saw a delivery person. Shows me it was sent right there. And from here, I could just turn tracking on or turn it off. We can also go into full screen view, and from here, we can manually pan and tilt it, and we still have the regular options like changing the resolution, type, turning on the alarm or the light, etc. Under AI detection, we can see we have 3 options: human detection, intrusion, and vehicle detection. Under human detection, we could just turn that on or off. And under intrusion, we have a bunch of options. So we can set a detection zone. And if I pull that up, you can see I can actually go ahead and add a detection zone. I can move that around, change the shape, save it, and you can actually add more than one zone if you like. I don't generally use this, but it is available. And then we can also go into the alarm, so we can enable an auto alarm. So if anything happens in the zones we've defined, we can use a smart alarm. So it's only going to be triggered during the day and only when the white light is turned on during the night. But you can also go ahead and do a custom alarm to say, hey, you want to have both white light alarm sound, and then you could play any of these prompts, and you can also change the alarm volume. You can also choose to receive notifications anytime a vehicle is detected. Under detection settings, we can turn detection on or off. Now there's an option for detect all, and it's going to detect any type of movement. This could be from people, vehicles, animals, basically anything. So it's best to leave it on intelligent detection, and you can decide, do you want to just be notified or detect humans or vehicles? So I'll probably just leave it on there, but to save battery, it's best to just leave it on human. Now, you can also set the track motion so the camera will pan and tilt anytime it detects movement, or if you just want the camera fixed because you have a very specific area you want to monitor, you could just turn tracking off. And then of course you can adjust the sensitivity. I've set it to adjust automatically to let the camera decide. Now you can turn that off, and you can go ahead and change, how far away or how close you want that tracking to take place. But I like leaving it on the automatic option. Under notification settings, we could turn notifications on or off, and then we could set when we receive these. It could be all day, every day, or only during certain days and only during certain times as well. Now, if we go into notification mode, there's an immediate mode. So as soon as it detects any type of movement, it's just going to notify you right away. But I have it set to intelligent mode, so it's going to kind of analyze the scene, then send me a notification, and then we can set the type of events we want. Under cloud recording, this is where we can get the optional paid plan, and you can pay annually or monthly. There is also a 7-day trial that you can use. Now, this is going to give you up to 30 days of event recording, but I'm fairly happy with the amount of video history I have with a big micro SD card, so for me it's not needed. Under default view, this is where we can define where we want the camera to always go back to after it finishes motion tracking. So I can just say, hey, I want to get a closer look at my front area here, and I'll just hit save, and the camera is just always going to return to that position once it finishes tracking. Under video and audio, we can set it to the 3K resolution, or we can go to smooth mode for lower connection or lower bandwidth. And then we can also change the night vision mode. I just left it to automatic, but you can have it with the white light or just infrared or black and white. We can also change the speaker volume here as well, and this does get quite loud, compared to a lot of cameras that I've reviewed. And then of course we can change if we wanted to record sound or not. Under battery management, we can see the current battery level and the charging status. So right now it's charging, and you can also switch between power saving mode or intelligent detection mode. Now on intelligent detection mode, you can have clips of up to 60 seconds long, or you can go to power saving mode with 20 seconds long. Now this is where I have it because it's just been very cold, overcast, or not very sunny. It is winter in Canada, so I'm just trying to prolong battery life as much as I can. Take note that there's no option for 24/7 recording since this isn't a hardwire camera system. We can also share the device with other members of our family or friends, and then we can set the device to go to sleep during a certain time, just to preserve battery life further. We can also decide if we want the LED status light to stay on. I like having this option on so people know the camera is actually active and powered. By the way, if you're finding this review helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. It really does help me out, but let's get back to it. Reviewing video is very simple, so we'll go into events and we'll let that load up. Notice it's on local because I'm using the micro SD card, and I'm just gonna go back a couple of days. So I have a full day. And you can see right now it shows someone's just passing, and they are just passing, they're not staying. And it just, this is just general motion, passing. But if someone was staying, there is actually an option on here where it will show you if they were passing or staying. So you can see right here it shows staying. I'll tap on that, and I believe that was me just going and installing things. And from here I can actually go ahead, download this, or go into full screen mode. And you can see it's just automatically panning and tracking me. So it works quite well very easy to do playback on this system. So you can see during the daytime clips were nicely exposed, not too much blown out areas or highlights, but I did have a lot of overcast skies mostly during the time of testing because it is winter in Canada. I set the system to intelligently decide when to switch night vision to black and white or to color night vision, and both were quite usable, but I do prefer the look of the color night vision better. All right, I'm gonna test the camera's motion detection speed and notification speed. So right now the camera can't see me. I'm gonna walk out from behind the tree and walk kind of in front of the camera now. Walking, this is the camera right up there, and you can see I now have a notification, so I'm just going to pull that down and I can see motion at your SolarCam D1 SE. Tap on that. Let's let that load up, and you can see it loads up pretty quickly. So it detected me quite quickly, and it's, you know, actively tracking me as I move around. So yeah, motion detection is really quick, and so is the notification speed. Like with AOSU's other cameras, the speakers on here get plenty loud. Here's a demo of that.
Warning. You have entered a high-definition surveillance area. This is a private area. Please leave immediately.
Pan and tilt functionality also works flawlessly on here, so you can see you can do a stitch panorama, tap anywhere on it, and then the camera's just going to look around. You can also do a 360-degree look around if you like, and of course you can manually pan and tilt as well. If you were to install a 128GB micro SD card on here, I estimate you'd get at least half of a year of storage, video history on here, because a 1-minute clip on here usually only takes about 10 megabytes. So really the space is quite efficient on here. All right, let's talk about battery life. For context, I'm in Canada. It's the dead of winter right now. It's about mid-January. I've had 2 winter storms in 1 week. The skies have just been overcast the entire time. It's been a mix of snow, rain, ice. Now, when I installed the camera, it was at 100% battery life. And after a week or so, it's now at around 33-34%. And that's based on me setting it to the highest recording resolution. I've set the motion detection to, smart adjustment, where it's going to kind of look at the scene, analyze it, and determine if it's going to go ahead and track that or record it. Now, for the first 4 to 5 days, I had it set to kind of like immediate mode, where it was just tracking everything, kind of willy-nilly. And that's where I noticed, like the battery life dropped by, say, 40%. So I switched it to the smart mode. It was also set to record, 60-second clips, so I could see as much information as possible. However, I've recently switched it to only record 20-second clips, again, because I have pretty much no sunlight and it's just all overcast skies with really cold temperatures, which of course depletes or drains battery life much quicker. Now, this is not limited to this camera alone. I have a bunch of other solar cameras also connected, and they are not also receiving charge. But if you're lucky enough to live in an environment with a lot of warm temperature and a lot of sunlight, you're not going to have a problem. This is going to stay nicely charged. And there were a couple of days where, I had basically like a little bit of ray coming through, or it wasn't that overcast, and I saw the camera was actually charging even in those bleak conditions. So, it really is doing as good as it can do, given that it's the dead of winter in Canada. So can I recommend the AOSU SolarCam D1 SE? And this is a great option if you don't want to run any type of wiring. The AI detection on here is also really good. So anytime it detects, a subject or an object, it can quickly play, an alarm or any one of those pre-recorded replies that I showed earlier. So if you're interested in picking up the AOSU SolarCam D1 SE, I'm gonna leave some links down below. But if you're looking for a camera with 24/7 recording, a bright floodlight, and you don't mind a little bit of wiring, check out my review of the AOSU Floodlight Cam Pro up here. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm always doing these type of security camera videos, and I have a lot more coming up. So I'll see you in the next one soon.